The U.S. is taking a tougher stance against the Chinese Communist Party. A policy alert bans members of the Communist Party from getting an immigrant visa.
On Friday, the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services published a policy alert about banning members of the Communist Party from getting an immigrant visa. In general, unless otherwise exempt, any intending immigrant who is a member or affiliate of the Communist Party or any other totalitarian party, domestic or foreign, is inadmissible to the United States. The policy alert is not new. It is based on laws passed by the U.S. Congress between World War I and the 1950s, but it suggests that the Trump administration may take tougher action to enforce them. The law provides exemptions for aliens whose membership or affiliation was involuntary, or for purposes of obtaining employment, food rations, or other essentials of living and where necessary for such purposes. The law provides another exemption where aliens must have terminated their membership at least 5 years before the date of the application and had actively opposed the doctrine and ideology. On Saturday, one day after the policy alert had been issued, the number of people searching in Google "quit party" in Mandarin Chinese surged by 100 times more than before the alert. Reportedly, the U.S. authorities may have already tightened restrictions. 2 weeks ago, U.S. Customs officials denied entry to a Chinese national at the Detroit Metropolitan Airport and sent him back to China. The man held a 10-year travel visa at the time and was not given a reason for his refusal. His travel visa was later canceled. The individual retained his CCP membership for fear of affecting his pension benefits. He was also earlier denied an immigration visa in the U.S. The man's lawyer in the U.S. believes that he was denied entry due to his status as a member of the CCP and advised him to quit the party before reapplying. As the largest communist party in the world, the 90 million members of the Chinese Communist Party, or CCP, are expected to be affected. However, a book that details the repressive history of the CCP was published in Chinese in 2004. The 9 commentaries on the Communist Party launched a massive movement to quit the party and its affiliated organizations. According to data published by a New York-based nonprofit Global Tuidang Center, over 360 million Chinese have quit the CCP and its 2 related organizations, the Communist Youth League of China and Young Pioneers of China. Most used a nickname or pseudonym. The center issues a certificate to those who have quit the party as proof of their denunciation of the organization. According to the center, the certificates are widely accepted by the U.S. Immigration Agency.
And according to a Fox News report, Pennsylvania will likely have 3 million mail-in ballots this year. That's a 10-fold increase since the 2016 election. And U.S. Postal Service's Office for the Inspector General is investigating alleged mail ballot interference in New Jersey. That's after bundles of mail, including mail-in ballots, were discovered in a dumpster. A man says he called the police after he found the discarded mail in a dumpster outside of the bank he works at in North Arlington, New Jersey. He described it as 200 to 300 pounds of mail with at least 200 ballots. The man has since deleted this photo from his Facebook page. The city's police chief confirmed that there were ballots among the abandoned mail. The USPS said the mail was reported, collected, and delivered. A similar situation happened in Wisconsin last month. The sheriff's office confirmed to the Epoch Times that trays of mail, including ballots, were found in a ditch there. And Pennsylvania's voter services website is up and running again after a weekend of being shut down. A technical problem with hardware led to interference for much of Pennsylvania's government. Online voter registration and the online application for mail-in ballots were affected. NTD's Melina Weiskup has more on the election obstacles happening in the swing state.
After Pennsylvania's election-related website crashed late Saturday, the Secretary of State Kathy Boockvar guided voters to download a paper copy of any election-related applications. She said the website outage was due to a technical issue caused by an outside contractor's equipment failure, and that there was no evidence of malicious interference. The outside contractor responsible for the hardware failure is named Unisys Corporation. We reached out to them to find out more about what caused the crash and if voter data was lost in the process, but they did not get back to us with a response. The Secretary of State said in her press release that all data was backed up. This isn't the first state that's had election-related issues due to an outside company's error. In New York's Brooklyn borough last week, mail-in ballots mislabeled as military absentee ballots were sent out to voters, and the state's Board of Elections said it was due to an outside vendor error. The Board of Elections also did not disclose how many voters were affected by the mistake. It's also not the first election-related issue that's occurred in the state of Pennsylvania. One county there was investigated by the FBI after 9 military mail-in ballots were found discarded in a dumpster, 7 of which were cast for Trump. Pennsylvania is a battleground state in this year's presidential election. In 2016, Trump won the state by less than a 1% difference. Melina Weiskup, NTD News.
And on Saturday, thousands of people gathered in Washington, D.C. to show support for the walkaway movement. They say the majority of Americans have remained silent and that it has allowed leftist indoctrination to spread. But they're seeking to change this. Speakers at the event included politicians, journalists, and conservative influencers. Our reporter Kevin Hogan tells us more about what the attendees are walking away from.
The silent majority is starting to speak up.
California.
People traveled from across the country to participate in the walkaway movement's Unsilent Majority March in D.C. The attendees are encouraging people to walk away from the Democratic Party. They claim it is not what it used to be and is now a platform for radical progressives.
And the radical left proved that there was no lie they won't tell, no building they won't burn, no founding father they will not topple in order to gain power.
They're denouncing socialism, violence, Antifa, groupthink, cultural Marxism, and fake news. The speakers argue that the Democratic Party of John F. Kennedy has changed.
The Democratic Party has devolved into a cancel culture of hate and hypocrisy, of lies, of deceit, of complete dominance and government dependence.
We spoke with an attendee about violence in the country.
Are you more concerned about violence from white supremacists or from Antifa?
Oh, sure. I'm more so violent. I mean, white supremacy is not even a problem in 2020. White supremacy has been actually on a great decline for the past several years now, actually for the past 4 years, ever since the left, upbrought, Antifa and using the term Black Lives Matter to get their agenda across.
BLM counter-protesters attempted to disrupt the rally. U.S. Park Police intercepted them and arrested the ones who assaulted officers. A former National Guardsman says he is on ideological duty to make sure we don't lose our democracy.
This now is the moment to walk away from things that are going on. And the chaos in this country, the money that is being poured into the destruction of this country is not by accident. There is 2 ways to go this year. Either the United States continues or we get swallowed up into globalism vis-a-vis China, etc.
There are about 2,000 to 3,000 people here at the Walkaway March. A Black American man told me he is walking away from Black Lives Matter because of the violence it's committed. Others are here to tell people about how President Trump has benefited Americans. One woman told me her mother used to pay $300 a month for her insulin, but now she only pays $30 a month because of Trump's executive order lowering drug prices. Reporting from Washington, Kevin Hogan, NTD News.